Ms. Mr. Gomez.
Number 2, informational items. To address the board. No later than 3 calendar days in advance of the meeting. These individuals may share their comments during the board business portion of the agenda. In both cases, the individual will preface comments by announcement of their name and address. Limit comments to 3 minutes. All statements should be directed to the board president. No person may address or question board members individually. In addition, in public session, the board will not hear complaints about school personnel, nor against any person connected with the school system. An unabridged board agenda for this meeting can be found on your electronic device at the address shown on the screen, and for your convenience, hard copies of the board agenda may be found on the table by the sign-in book. The next regularly scheduled meetings of the Cuyahoga Falls Board of Education are on August 3rd and August 17th at 5:30 p.m. right here in the Cuyahoga Falls High School Library. Now for our Pledge of Allegiance, Ms. Coco.
Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And with the permission of the board, we're going to do item D, presentations, out of order so that we can get our graduated. So the summer graduate, it's recommended that the Board of Education grant a Cuyahoga Falls High School diploma to the following individual who has now completed requirements stated by the state of Ohio for high school graduation, Lisa Marie Foster.
So
Moved by Ms. White, seconded by Ms. Coco. And then we'll vote, and then we'll give it to her because we gotta vote first.
Okay.
And then we'll call you up and we'll do the whole thing.
Mr. Gomez.
Aye.
Mr. Harris.
Aye.
Mrs. Schaefer. Ms. White.
Aye.
Ms. Coco.
Aye.
Thank you. And our graduate is here tonight. You wanna come on up? We get to give you this, and we are so proud. Thank you. Here's this too. We're so proud of you. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
And then to presentation number 1, Friend of Education Award. That's me and the Board of Education tonight. Whew. Mr. Shabity could come up because we are declaring you a Friend of Education for the Cuyahoga Falls City School District. Your certificate of commendation. Your black tiger pen. Don't say we never gave you one. And then we got you this plaque. It says, Friend of Education Award, Mr. Rusty Shabity, an appreciation for your unwavering support during your tenure as interim superintendent. Thank you for your investment of time and your outstanding service to the students, parents, and staff of the Cuyahoga Falls City Schools.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I'm not done yet. And then the flowers are for your, not for you, they're for your wife. Because we wanted to show a sign of appreciation to her for the sacrifices she made to share you with us over these last 7 months.
Thank
The
you very much.
vacations and other things that you could have done with her, she sacrificed as well, so we wanted to show some appreciation to her.
Thank you.
And lastly, you got your little shirt. There is a misspelling, but we're going to get it. You a corrected one. But, of course, your number has to be 74. So you're our coach.
Awesome. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
It's nice to be recognized for doing something you love doing, so thank you very much.
Other people might want to say something too, so
Thank you.
if they would like to say.
She doesn't, yeah.
Anybody want to say anything?
I will. I just want, I just want to thank you. At the interview, you just got my heart when you said you wanted to give back
No.
to our community, and from another Black Tiger to you. Thank you very much for stepping in for us. It's really appreciated.
I just want to say thanks as well. You know, it's been great getting to know you, and I'm gonna miss seeing you around. But I know you probably have a lot of plans, and you deserve it. You deserve it. So thanks for everything. We
Might
appreciate
see him on Front Street.
it. Right, right. There we go.
Yes, just thank you very much. You were a newbie that came in the same time as three of us, and so I don't have anything to gauge your performance from, but you know, you were amazing and awesome, and you led this district with humility and respect and a little bit of humor, which is always appreciated. And so thank you for not forgetting where you came from, because you showed us why we are here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Also wanted to say thank you. As a new board member, was very nervous coming in because all of the transition, everything happening all at one time, and some unusual circumstances in the world when you came in, and you really put our mind at ease. You kept us on task, and didn't make us, well, me personally, didn't make me feel like I didn't belong here because I wasn't 100% sure what was going on all the time. Also, I don't know if you know this, I also am a graduate of Commonwealth High School.
I heard that rumor.
But thank you very much.
Thank you.
I just wanted to express my thanks as well. When we met, when you first became interim superintendent, you said, "What do you need me to do?" And I said, "We needed you to be a calm and positive presence leading our school district," and you achieved that and then some. Parents would come up to me to compliment our choice of you on the regular, so that was a great feeling. We look forward to that continuing. But that was a great feeling to have parents recognizing what a positive impact you were making as a leader of our district. And the other thing I said was that we needed you to look at all of our systems to make sure that we had clear expectations and we were meeting the needs of our students. And you didn't shy away from making recommendations, some of which we're already implementing, such as instituting an option of in-school suspension as opposed to sending kids out. You work to make opportunities for kids to keep doing their coursework when they're on suspension, and then other ideas you had of needs that we have for central office that I know Dr. Salico is going to keep carrying on. So you did real impactful work that's going to continue to make a difference for our district. So
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I greatly appreciate it. Great way to end my career. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. On to item E, Treasurer CFO's business. Mrs. Osling.
Yes. So first I would like to recommend the Board of Education approve all items listed in the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Not on those.
Please call the roll.
I don't mean to be rude or anything, but
You're good to go if you want to go. Feel free. That's why we did you first, so you could leave.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
All right.
I thought she said something.
Mr. Harris.
Aye.
Mrs. Schaefer.
Aye.
Ms. White.
Aye.
Ms. Coco. Mr. Gomez.
Aye. Item F, Treasurer CFO's business. We have our financial transactions and reports.
Yes, I would like to recommend that the Board of Education approve the financial transactions and reports for June.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, I do.
And some discussion?
Yes.
Thank you.
So after closing June, we are pretty much on target with the forecast, other than the advanced amounts, which were larger than anticipated. But those are returns, so that's really an in and out, and I think Christy went over that at the last meeting. Our expenditures, I don't know, if you could, the general, I can't see from there. The expenditures, over revenue in June is very typical. And we also paid our first TDA installment of about 1.5 million. So you'll see that there in the expenditures, that's what that jump is. And the other one is the 006 food service. They closed out just under 1 million, which is
Incredible.
absolutely outstanding and incredible. My hat's off to Christy and Chef Bill for their work together. So that's just amazing. So, but yep, everything was pretty much spot on with the forecast. So
Awesome.
Christy's amazing.
Good to hear. 'Cause we closed the books last month, but now we're seeing all the reports of the closing the books and our very strong financial position
Yes.
going forward. So thank you to our community for that.
Yes.
So because of their generosity. Anyone else? Please call the roll.
Okay. Mrs. Schaefer. Miss White.
Aye.
Miss Coco.
Aye.
Mr. Gomez.
Aye.
Mr. Harris.
Aye.
And then did you have any comments for us?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
I just want to commend you for doing something recently. While Ms. Stoico is on vacation, you worked to get the free and reduced application as part of our forms, and we appreciate that. And just as a reminder to families that the only way to get free meals next year is if you qualify for free or reduced meals. So we would encourage you to apply for that. And if you haven't yet filled out that application, if you do it by July 31st, you can still qualify for the pandemic EBT funding. So a big encouragement to all of our families that now is the time to fill that out. To get free meals for next year if you qualify, and that pandemic support as well.
Yes.
So, and a thank you to you for helping with that.
Absolutely.
Item G, Superintendent's Business, Mr. Shabady.
Thank you, Mr. President. Recommended the Board of Education accept the superintendent's consent agenda.
Any discussion? I did talk to Mrs. McClure because we're continuing to fill some positions, and she's gonna just briefly highlight some of the continued opportunities we have to join the Black Tiger family as we near on a month until school starts. There are still some people that we'd like to hire, and she's gonna give us a little update on that while we approve personnel.
You ready there?
Sure.
So I'm still, a week ago I had 8 intervention specialist positions open, and now I have 5, so I'm happy about that. The majority of them are elementary. There is 1 middle, 1 high school. We did post for all of our Title I tutors, which is a great opportunity to join our family. Those are our foot in the door jobs for elementary teachers. I need 4 of those. And I'm still looking for a family and consumer science teacher at the high school, although things have had a little bit of a change, but I'd still welcome any applicants. We will be getting ready also soon, within the next week, to post for all of our support staff positions, classroom professional or paraprofessionals, attendants, bus drivers, all kinds of bus drivers. So that's it.
Yeah. So if you know anyone or anyone listening knows anyone or anyone out there knows anyone that's looking, there are still opportunities to join the Black Tiger family for the coming school year, and we would love to have you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Okay. Nothing further, please call the roll.
Miss Coco.
Aye.
Mr. Gomez.
Aye.
Mr. Harris.
Aye.
Mrs. Schaefer.
Aye.
Miss White.
Aye.
Thank you. Item H, Superintendent's Business, Mr. Shabady. Comments?
Just a couple. First of all, again, I'd like to thank the board for this opportunity. It was a great experience, met a lot of great people. I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize these 4 over here because they carried me anything I did. They really stepped up this year with the transition that was going on. What a great group of people. I always, in my career, tried to surround myself with great people and hire great people, and I didn't have to. They were already in place. So I thank them for everything that they've done, so I appreciate that. So again, thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you. Okay. On to item I, Board Business. First up is a discussion of the focus book. Ms. White, thank you for putting that in writing so everyone could think about it. Was there anything you wanted to say to lead off the conversation?
No, just a little bit. I just think it's important that we, since Dr. Selico and the 3 new board members didn't get the book and weren't part of that book study, I just thought it'd be important to read it and see how that could work for our strategic planning. We have talked about redoing that, and I know from the teachers and staff that I've heard from, they liked the book and they were kind of sorry to see that it just kind of stopped and was left. And there's a lot of things, you know, that we do that are left, and we don't know where to go. But some of the things they told me was prioritize, simplify, clarify, accountability, and goals where maybe there's one or two, a building, 3 at the most. Those are some of the things that they wanted to expand upon, and I just thought, just read it and, you know, have a discussion here to see how that might, the book, just the first 3 chapters. You don't need to really read all the other stuff unless you want to. It's interesting, but really it's the first 3 chapters that would, you know, go with the board. And part of strategic, that's part of our job as a board, is to look at strategic planning and goals. And I just thought this would help and see where we all are, you know, on that, where we want to kind of go since we're a new board. And that's why I brought this forward. Not only am I hearing from staff, but I just think, you know, it's important for new people to get involved and just read and then discuss very openly the key concept, ideas, and how that might apply to strategic planning. As I said, we were looking at trying to revamp that somewhat, that plan. And I also pulled Dr. Selico's plan. I don't know where I put it, it's in here somewhere, but anyway, there are certain items in her strategic plan that she also had, that I thought was important, you know, that would go with that. So there's a couple points in her plan as well that would go along with this. And that's really all that I wanted to do.
I read all the feedback that our staff provided that Dr. Selico shared with us, so thank you, Dr. Cruz, for collecting that, Dr. Selico for sending out. Their feedback in that survey that they sent us was overwhelmingly negative about the book itself. So that's what I'm taking as staff feedback. And they had other thoughts about the idea of a book study, but that's not what we're talking about now. But their feedback on the book itself was extremely critical of the book. So my hesitation with doing this is that what we spend time on at a board meeting matters, and people pay attention to that. And if we're going to continue to stress a book that was received very poorly by the staff members that gave us formal feedback, I think that sends a negative message about our receptiveness to their feedback. I'm not against the book. I read the book, participated in it, thought he made some good points, thought he made some not so good points, and my group talked about that as well. But I think it sends a bad message to staff that we're going to keep pushing this one book that was very negatively received by them in the formal feedback they received.
Well, again, Mr. I'm not asking staff to do it. I'm asking us to look at it, to guide us as a guiding look at when we do look at that strategic plan. So I'm not asking the teachers or anybody else to read the book. I just want to kind of discuss it to see how it would lead to simplifying, because that's what I'm hearing. And I don't think it was all negative, but they didn't have a lot of time to read it, if I recall. And I don't think it was elementary teachers that were included in the book study. I'm not sure.
They all were.
Okay. But what I heard too was, you know, they don't like the fact that you just drop it, and they want to simplify, prioritize. Those are their things. And I know, like Dr. Cruz is working so hard on the literacy, and I so appreciate that. But, you know, how do we kind of, what are we going to ask for? What information do we want to know, and how our students are improving? And I think this would help us with those goals, the board goals as well. So that's my thought. If you don't,
Well,
if
I'm
you feel like,
confused
no,
by
forget it.
where you're getting this feedback from, because what I'm hearing you say is not the formal feedback that we were all shared.
I just got it from a lot of, I don't want to name names, I'm not going to, but they told me how they felt.
And how was that feedback solicited?
I won't say either because I don't think that's fair to those people.
Well, for me, I'm not gonna trust that feedback that was not shared with the whole board in a formal way when we offered a formal, anonymous way for staff to provide us
I know,
feedback
and
to
I don't think
consider.
it was all negative. I read it twice too. And a
I
lot of
didn't
it
say all, I
was,
said
but-
overwhelmingly.
Right, it is, but I'm not asking them to do anything or further, just for the
Well, I
board.
think we are asking our staff to do something when we're saying that this book is gonna become our guiding principle, and their overwhelming reception of the book was very negative, but then we're saying as a board it's gonna become our guiding
I don't
principle.
think that's the case.
Well,
It's
you-
not our guiding
You
principle.
just said,
No, it's
that's a
how
quote from
we
you,
look-
from just now.
No, I didn't.
You
That's,
said guiding principle.
no, it will guide us within our strategic plan and our goals of what we need to look at. It's not a guiding principle for them. It's for us.
Well, we're the board, so whatever we
Right.
set as a guiding principle is the guiding principle for the district.
Well, fine. I don't. It's fine.
Mrs. Schaefer?
As a new board member I haven't read that, so I don't have an opinion on that book at all. I welcome the fact that people are wanting us to read something to help us make those goals. If there is something that would also fit that category, that maybe won't. I hear what you're saying. You're saying based on what you've read on the people replying back what they thought of this book study, that if there was some negativity, if we go forth and base our strategic plans based on a book that people thought was not reflective of what they want to present for their for the district, is there something better that we can use? Because I'm all for, doing my homework so that we can make better choices. Does anyone have any other suggestions that can help me get to where we need to be for the strategic planning?
Dr. Salako says yes. And also, it is something that she's working on. The start was a start with when we had our Deborah Wright Keys come in. Is it Wright Keys or Keys Wright? Correct me. Keys Wright. Thank you. I didn't want to say it wrong. Deborah Keys Wright come in, and then she's working on processing the feedback. Reminder to get your survey in by Friday. We'll
Thank you.
shout out there. And then we're gonna work to get her back in to continue that work and really establish some groundwork, as well as Dr. Selico meeting with administrators at the retreat and other things too. And I also think that's a part of it too. We need to let Dr. Selico a chance to kind of collect all these things and this information and maybe have suggestions about guiding principles or other things as well.
We actually talked about it this morning in cabinet. So we'll take what we heard you say tonight, Ms. White, and then we'll, the board, and we'll have some recommendations on how to proceed. We also, have it on our radar and some thoughts about it, so we will have something for you once we get a chance to talk through it. But we talked about an initial strategy today.
But I'm not discouraging the other new board members from reading the book by any means. I want to be clear on that. I encourage you to read the book at whatever pace works for you, because there are good points in the book. So I
I
want
read
to.
slowly.
Ms. White and I certainly agree on that point, and I want to emphasize that point of agreement that there are good points in the book that I would encourage you to read the book. Other thoughts?
Happy to read it.
And thank you, to see where has gotten us to this point in the book study. I appreciate that the book was provided and I have started reading the book myself, because I do want to know, because we are new and coming in, so.
So, here's what I'm hearing, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't want to move on from this, having not heard the right things. Hearing that we're going to read the book, we're going to look at the book. We're probably not going to set it for discussion at this time, but we're going to give administration a little time, and then we're going to circle back to it. Is that
that's
a fair plan?
Sure,
Is that what I'm hearing? I want to make sure I'm hearing what people are saying. Does that work? Okay.
Yes.
I think that works. Okay. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
I appreciate you, Ms. White. Item 2 is future agenda items. Do you have any future agenda items to bring forward? just that at our next meeting, I want to make sure I have this right, Dr. Cruz. Next meeting, we're going to do summer school celebration, correct? Okay, got it. Just so we're all certain. And that the summer school part 2 started this week with elementary school and the athletic opportunities that they have. And I know some people that have kids in it, and I've heard great things about that program as well. So I'm excited to get to hear more about the successes we're seeing from these programs. Item 3 is committee reports. I know that the core team met, so I will yield to you if you have anything to share. Ms. White or Ms. Coco?
Well, we do need to change the date to the 4th August. Ms. Coco sent out the notes to everybody. And I didn't know if that's how we're gonna move, so we don't actually do the reports at the board meetings, or are we gonna go to just emailing the notes to everybody?
I think the goal is to email the notes while we
Okay.
all still remember it the most, and then
Okay.
to reference it briefly at the meeting, just for the sake of
Okay.
transparency and kind of showing the work that we're doing, because this gives us opportunity to then highlight the work that we're doing.
Why don't
Does that make sense?
It's
I just
fine.
want to make sure I'm making.
I just wanted to know to make
Yeah.
sure, so, okay. So basically, after you received all the notes, I'm not gonna go all over that if Ms. Coco thinks there's something, but we just need to change the date from the 3rd Thursday of August to the 4th, because we will have things, they said, to
Yes.
report back. So I would just like to suggest that we change that to the 4th Thursday in August.
Does that work for everyone? I'm guessing it works for you too, because you were at the meeting, and I know it works for me. But I want to just check with our other two.
I'm having surgery the day before, so.
Oh, so you won't be able to
I won't be
attend.
here.
Okay. Mr.
Works.
Harris?
It works.
Okay. So we'll do that, and Mrs. Oslin's the one that notices the meeting, so she
Yeah.
will get that re-notice for us.
Yeah.
And then I'll work on an email to our group of people as well, letting them know. And I want to give them an update as well on the pieces, parts with the city as well. Just letting them know what's coming up. Because we've had a lot of really phenomenal positive process in our construction project over the last couple weeks. So.
And then TDA should have their update this month sent out as well to make sure that gets sent out to the team
Wonderful.
as soon as they have it.
And then Dr. Salico and I talked about working to get, number one, get a date set for when we're going to have this groundbreaking celebration. That's first and foremost. And then work backward from there about what we want that to be. I know we want hard hats.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
We want it to be a hoopty too.
It's just very exciting that it's happening, because we've all been on this journey for so long, and things are going to be happening on the site. We're getting approvals from the city, and it's just so exciting that things are happening. So wonderful, thank you. The only other committee I believe has a report is Student Wellness and Success, and that's me, and I wanted to report out just for our community to know that we will have more information coming hopefully late next week about before and after school care. I know that some families have reached out to board members with concerns about our current provider saying that they weren't going to provide things anymore, and there's just some angst in the community, but I know Dr. Cruz is working hard on that, and we hope to have more information to share late next week, which we know is cutting it close for families to plan, but just to at least put that out there so that our community is aware that it's coming, and will hopefully be good news.
Along with the committees, the Business Advisory Council starts back up in August, I believe. Correct?
So, yeah. I'm almost positive.
Because you meet quarterly,
Okay.
I think. Yeah.
So I'll reach out and get that exact date just to get it on my calendar since August is coming fast.
Here tomorrow.
Thank you all. So we'll move on to comments. Mrs. Schaefer, you are up first.
I was going to say something about Mr. Shapley, but we already did that. But I do want to kind of echo with what you said. as a new board member, I want to just kind of give a shout out to Cabinet because they really are been so great answering my questions. I know I have an insane amount of questions sometimes, and I appreciate no one has ever been irritated with me. I really appreciate that. I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. Oh, also, very excited about the new website. It looks super great. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. White.
Well, I do have an article
I saw
today.
you were locked and loaded.
I know, I always usually do. This is about employability skills. Students must know how to communicate, collaborate, and problem solve. And I wanted to bring this along because I was on the BAC and I know they really talked about the 4 C's. And, you know, it's something that we need to look at and make sure that our kids are getting. And I'm with Mr. Gomez on Focus. There's very much I like about the book, but there were a couple of things I totally disagree with, like authentic project-based things and like that. But this again is about that. It would be extremely difficult, if not impossible, to predict what today's students must know to fully prepare for the economy of the future. What we do know for certain is that having the capacity to communicate, collaborate, problem solve, among other so-called soft skills or employability skills is essential for success no matter the industry. Now some of those soft skills he talks about a little later, and those things are like dependability and reliability, adapting, trainability, critical thinking, decision making, customer focus, and teamwork. And he does talk about CTE, where they do things like that very much. But the Map to the Middle Class was a project exploring what it takes to ascend to the middle class in an evolving economy. And through its reporting, soft skills repeatedly came up in conversation. And again, at another Chicago-based MHA lab, 6 building blocks they suggest: communication, collaboration, personal mindset, planning for success, social awareness, and problem solving. And these are what they call the soft skills. And we need to kind of focus on that throughout the curriculum. And I think with the student wellness and success, we're going to get there eventually. I just thought I'd bring this in because I think, you know, again, it's very important that this is what our business people want, and, you know, have it had said that. And I'll just finish. To a certain extent, this is like opening a door and giving students capabilities they didn't know were in their reach. It's both incredibly clarifying and magnificently empowering. And so just keep that in mind as we go forward. It's something to think about.
Thank you.
Got border.
Ms. Coco?
Bad timing.
I don't have a lot to add this evening. Just I'm looking forward to our Falls Fridays that we're doing this month. And looking forward to the new school year. It's right around the corner.
35 days.
35 days. My daughter already has her new backpack. She's asking to go back to school. So I don't know if that's because I'm really boring to be around or she's excited about school or both, but she's excited. She's been reading this summer on her own, which is due to the literacy program that was implemented 100%. I know it is. That was started at Richardson last year. Really, I've never seen her love to read before, and she is doing that all summer. She's ready to go back and see all her friends. So enjoy the rest of summer, and I'm just excited for school.
I'll echo Ms. Coco, remind the community that on July 29th from 6 to 10 p.m., the board and TDA will be down at the Falls Friday event. If people want to stop by, get some information, or ask us some questions. I wanted to give a shout out to Mr. Brigatti and the work that Sable is doing. They're doing a really great job. Our lots look great. I mean, we've used some different people over years, but their attention to detail has not gone unnoticed. And I know that the band is very appreciative that that large area that they practiced in got repaved, and there'll be a lot less sprained ankles this year. So
I'll let them know they have done a little extra beyond what we've paid them for. So thank you.
Our appreciation to them. Wanted to note, if you haven't gone by the Fresh Farm, I have the good fortune to live near it, and I drive by it all the time. But it is amazing what it looks like right now, and I encourage you, if you don't drive by there usually, to stop by and really check that out, because it is such a source of pride for our school district. And lastly, I just want to mention that by the time we come to our next school board meeting, Dr. Selikos will take the reins as our next superintendent. So we bid a fond farewell to Mr. Shabady. We know that we have a great set of hands for him to pass off the work to, and we look forward to her coming in officially August 1st. And Mr. Harris.
Not too much to add. I want to congratulate our summer graduate, Ms. Foster. Congratulate and thanks to Mr. Chabby for everything. Really appreciate it. And also Dr. C. Just every time I open up my email, there's always something from you, and you're always doing something, and I appreciate that. You're meeting with community members, working on the security stuff. I really appreciate it. So I'm excited to work with you.
Thank you. On to item J, adjournment. Motion to adjourn. It's recommended the Board of Education adjourn this meeting.
So moved. Second.
Please call the roll.
Mrs. Schaefer? Ms. White?
Aye.
Ms. Coco?
Aye.
Mr. Gomez?
Aye.
Mr. Harris?
Aye.
6:06.